Happy Pride Month. Well, okay, let's be honest. When you're watching this, it's not Pride Month anymore. I know that for a fact. But, anyway, uh, let's pretend it is. I made this really, really long video, not as long as others, but, yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of Minecraft. We're gonna do a little bit of drawing. It's gonna be fun. Um, I'm just saying this as an audio disclaimer that we will be talking about topics such as sex, gender, anxiety, depression, all those kinds of things that usually kind of come along with each other in a discussion of these sorts of topics. So there will be trigger warnings along the way for specific sections. If you want to watch this in sections, I have sectioned everything off into little bundles of topics so that it's not like super boring, right? Only mostly boring. Um, yeah, but that's about it for the disclaimer, and I'll see you after the video for the credits. Oh, Chris, I'm choking my cereal. In honor of Pride Month, I wanted to start this little batch up with a story, right? As is kind of normal on here, I wanted to start with a story of some kind, to really nail down what pride means to me, right? So yeah, if they cause any kind of anxiety or any kind of triggers, please leave. Feel free to come back another time. I fully understand, and it's taken me a very long time to make this episode. Anyway, like not this episode in particular, but like just to talk about this, it's taken me a while. So yeah, I'm just gonna lead myself over here because for this story we need to go back in time a little bit. So if you'll excuse me with the whole time machine analogy, but yeah, we're gonna have to go back a little bit. So here we go. Oh, I think I saw something. Are we here? Yeah, we are. Okay, so kind of callback. Question of the hour. Oh. What? Oh yeah, I never had any one. Forgot about that. Question of the hour. I'll put it up on screen. And the honest answer to that now is I don't know. I honestly don't. I mean, sure, I could describe to you like part of the specifics, I guess. Here's what it would be in words. But I think you know, I'm trying to be like other people, not really caring about labels, so it's not really as straightforward as that. Like, I consider myself, I guess, non-binary, if we wanted to put it that way. But I mostly don't think about it because it's not like massively important to me or anything, right? It's not like it's, you know, a big deal, right? I mean, of course, yeah, it's a big deal, but like it doesn't really affect me in day-to-day life, so I don't really think about it very often. And it's not exactly like it affects me in any big way. I mean, people just think I'm a woman because you know, can't a person just look cute a day or two? But no, I don't mind, honestly. I used to mind a lot, but it's got to the point where I'm just like, if you want to think that, you can think that, you know, I don't care. I think what really ticks people off is that I actually do have an Adam's apple. It's not extremely visible, mostly due to the fact that I have a skin thing, which I have been taking cream for, but that I don't know how to get back. I've been taking cream for it, but I'm not sure it's really helping. But yeah, I do in fact have an Adam's apple, and people, kind of, recently actually people have been asking me, if I'm on hormone therapy, because, people, I guess, assume that I'm on hormone therapy, which I'm not. I mean, I don't have the intention of taking hormones or going to surgery, like, gender reassignment surgery. Like, I don't care. I mean, genitalia warning. I kind of find all kinds of genitalia kind of gross, you know? Like, the penis is gross, the vagina is gross. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't... Why do people, I mean, let's be honest, men, put so much emphasis on, like, the shape and the size of their penises? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. I'm thinking, like, it's a biological organ, You use it to pee, you use it to, reproduce. Like, why does it matter? Why does it matter this much to you? Right? And it's the kind of thing that I really don't really think a lot about, because it's, like, for me, it's, oh, look, I have a genitalia, it's a thing I have. Am I going to do anything with it? I mean, yes, I'm going to clean it, because hygiene is important, obviously, but, like, it's not really, like, I mean, God, it's annoying sometimes. I mean, I remember, like, 2 years ago, it was so annoying to deal with, but, like, it's not, like, something that I really, like, think about in full detail, and I think that's about as much as I'm willing to say about that. So anyway, I remember I left off on a cliffhanger, last time, and that's not intentional. I left off on a cliffhanger last time because I legitimately forgot to start recording again, and when I did start recording again, the audio was off. I can't believe myself sometimes. Like, the microphone just stopped working. Are you kidding? But no, we're gonna go back there now. I mean, I guess I could walk there. It wouldn't be that difficult. Let's use this. It's more fun. Okay, see you in a little bit, I think. Okay. How? Okay, what's the matter?
Day 16.
Oh, you're joking. So I wanted to talk about,
Anyway, it's a really good idea to try to go outside today.
So I wanted to talk about, what, I guess, my sexuality means to me.
Okay, good.
And how I really don't care. Now, here's the thing, right? Being my age, right, there are, in fact, the kinds of people who willingly date other people. And I'm okay with that, right? But then there's also the kinds of people who just couldn't give, just could not care at all about dating. And controversially, I don't think I fall into that category. More so that I don't understand it. I don't understand dating. So when I talk about sexual orientation in this context, please take it with a grain of salt, because I have no idea what on earth I'm talking about. Okay? Okay, good. Now that we have that out of the way, first of all, why don't I have any idea what I'm talking about? Well, good question. So growing up, I've actually always had a bit of trouble with making friends and talking to people. You know, the normal thing that you're supposed to do in kindergarten, because in kindergarten, you don't exactly learn, like, you learn a good amount of things, right? like the alphabet and numbers, and those things are especially important if you want to, live in modern society, or like in English speaking countries. At least you learn the alphabet. I don't know about anywhere else because I only have ever lived in a English speaking country. What was I talking about? Right. So I was bad at talking to people. Like kind of elementarily, like like at its very basis, I was bad at talking to people. Mostly because I was too shy to actually, do anything about it. So I was, I instead of like interacting with other children, what I would do is I would hide in my cubby. And in case you don't know what that is, honestly, I don't even know what a cubby is. Sorry, I keep forgetting what I'm talking about. Social interaction. Didn't do it. Not much anyway. And it took me far too long. It is kind of a story in of itself. It took me far too long to really come to terms with the whole emotions thing, and having that as like a core component of being a human being thing, which sounds really weird, but like I really didn't understand social cues a lot when I was growing up, and I didn't like understand what taboo was in social conversation, or how to make friends, or just the simple things, right? Like when the teacher asks you to get into groups, right? I don't know how to do that. How do I get into a group? You know? And I would have this issue where I just could not collaborate with other people because either A, I would not contribute anything, or B, I would not allow the other people to contribute anything. The latter happened a little bit more in like grade 4, grade 5, and the former happened more in like the grade we don't speak about 2 and 3. So, it's... have you ever heard of this like there's learning skills things, like they're not like grades, but you get them on your report card. Like you get your learning skills for like initiative and self things. I'll put up on the screen what I'm talking about. Yeah, so I did not. I was okay with everything except like collaboration. I always got like a satisfactory or needs improvement, which kind of stood out against everything else. It's just like, oh, it looks like your child's not very good at collaborating with other people or really just talking to anyone. This is something you should probably work on in your household, right? And I did have friends when I was younger. I'm not saying I didn't. It's just I didn't understand that I had friends, which is a slight problem. It's only like in hindsight where I realized I actually had friends. And you might be wondering, oh my god, stop talking. Why? How is this relevant to anything? I'm getting there, okay? I've kind of always thought that having like a good relationship, like a good romantic relationship, is dependent on having a good friendship first. Now, this is not like always the case. Like people can have like good, well, there's friends with benefits, right? You can have a good sexual relationship without like getting attached, right? But I'm seriously just talking about like dating, like actually the concept of hooking up with something. No, that's not the right word. Having a good relationship, romantic relationship. Sometimes with the sexual component, not necessarily though. that is built on the same core principles as friendship. You're just adding more onto it, and that's something I've kind of stood by for a while. Why is there no torch on this one? God, it's dark. Oh, so in order for me to start dating, then that means that I have to start, being able to have platonic relationships, or more specifically, intentionally start platonic relationships, because that's not something I'm very good at doing. So how do you intentionally start having a platonic relationship? I don't know. That's why I'm asking. So it's been really difficult for me to conceptualize the idea of dating as a real possibility for me, because even though like throughout high school I saw people like making out in the hallways when they were supposed to be getting to class, and personally, like, I'm not that much of a stickler for rules. I personally follow the rules, but like, I don't care if anyone else is, honestly. I mean, it's their business, it's not mine, but it always bugged me to see like people just making out in the middle of the hallway, because I just thought the idea was icky. To put it bluntly, I thought the idea of making out just anywhere was gross. Like, why would you do it? I had a pretty good trigger warning. We're going to be talking about genitalia, not for very long, but we are going to be talking about it a little bit. I first really got an education into how babies were made in grade 2. Now you might be thinking, why? So I had this book called something on the lines of How Babies Are Made, and it had a story going through like the anatomy, and it was really cute. Use a zygote and a zygote. Can you tell I never went into high school biology? I never understood the point of, well, no, I understood the point of having sex, right? For like procreation or recreation. But like, it just didn't occur to me why I would want to participate in that. Like, kissing feels unsanitary. I get it now why people would want to do it, but like, it's still gross, right? And having sex, right? Or even like, heaven forbid, masturbating. I get it's like a normal thing that people do. I've seen like the Wikipedia article for it, and no, wait, no, I've seen the Wikipedia article for ejaculation, and God, has that scarred me for life. Just a quick note on the Wikipedia article for ejaculation. I haven't checked, and I'm not sure if it's still like this, but the website, back when I used to see it, right, instead of having a diagram of like the anatomical body parts doing the thing, like the ejection of seminal fluid, it just had a picture of a real person's penis ejaculating. Why? Why would... Anyway, I hated that so much. You can just hear the disgust dripping from my voice. It's just like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Like, I mean, I get it. Like, they have real photos for everything else, but like, oh my god, we don't need to see that. It's not even like, think of the children. It's like, I don't personally want to see that. Why are you showing me this? Anyway, Tangents aside, you didn't miss anything. If you skipped over here, you really didn't miss anything. Don't ask about it. You didn't miss anything. TLDR, or TLDW, too long didn't watch, or TLDL didn't listen. I don't. In short, there we go. I personally find the idea of sex, kissing, and masturbation repulsive. And I don't like looking at other people's. I should stop talking about this. The longer I talk about this, the more it's going to make me feel sick. So, yeah, so that's why I don't think about sex very often. I don't know if any of that's going in the video. I don't even know how I feel about, like, editing that. Oh, Christ. Okay, like, in case I didn't put any of that in the video, here's the long and short of it, okay? I don't like the usual things that come with a romantic or sexual relationship because it disgusts me, weirds me out, just confuses the goddamn Helvetica out of me. Yeah. Okay? That's all I really want. Never go on Wikipedia for these kinds of matters. Excuse me, public PSA. Don't go on Wikipedia if you're curious about sex. There are other ways to learn. Also, that's what the public education system is for. So yeah, that's kind of why I justify saying that. It's not because I did some experimenting and found out, like, oh, I really don't like you that way. No, it's that I've never dated, never been in a sexual relationship, primarily because that would be when I was a minor and that would be illegal. And also immoral. Like, ignoring the fact that it's against the law, it's also just like, why would you do that to a person, right? Sorry, I keep forgetting what I'm talking about. I just kind of consider myself at the moment asexual and aromantic because it's just never occurred to me that I was anything else. And honestly, I haven't, like, spent a lot of time thinking about relationships. I mean, like, people my age were talking about, oh, boyfriends, oh, girlfriends. It's like, oh, hey, my old name, have you ever had a girlfriend? And I said, yes, because I was a child, and I didn't understand what the term girlfriend meant, because, of course, I thought, well, I have friends, and they are girls, so yes, of course I do. Of course I have girlfriends. Girlfriends plural. Which might have ticked off a couple people, but again, we are all children. We don't understand what words mean. No, but like, it took me a really long time to understand that girlfriend and boyfriend were not just compound words of just like, oh, a friend who's a boy, a friend who's a girl. Oh, I see. It's a little bit more complicated than that. You have to have, like, romantic feelings for them. Or if not romantic feelings, then sexual feelings towards them. It's an and/or situation, really, with how I understand it. For all those computer programmers out there, no, not an XOR and or situation. One or the other, or both. I don't think any computer programmers watch my videos. I don't think anyone watches my videos, quite frankly. I make these for myself. I don't even know if anyone's watching me. Whoa. So, there was another thing I really wanted to talk about, but I forgot what it was now. Oh, right, yes. I don't value sex. Okay, Okay, let me explain that statement a little bit. I don't personally, in my personal opinion, value having having coitus with another person. Oh my god, I sound like Sheldon right now. I don't, like, that's not something that interests me, and I don't think it's gonna be something that ever interests me. What I value more over that, I guess, is having an intimate relationship. And I also have to explain that statement. God, when people think of intimacy, a lot of people think of sex as being intimacy. And I don't have data to back that up. That is just a blanket statement I'm saying out of my... Anyway, I'm just making that up, honestly. But, like, no, I'm not just making it up. Based on people who I've talked to, intimacy means sexual intimacy, or sex, which, yes, that is one definition of it, but it's not the only definition of it, right? Like, you can be intimate without being sexual, right? And what I really value at the moment is actually just having a deep connection with someone. Like, that's my core goal right now, to have, like, a deep connection with someone, to be able to have that with someone. And it doesn't matter who, honestly. I proclaim publicly that I'm a hopeless Platonic, because I don't want romance. I don't want romantic love. I don't want sexual love. But, like, I do want to be loved. Right, I'm sure we all do. But I want that intimate connection with someone to really, be there, to have that. I don't know how to describe it, honestly. I'm kind of at a loss for words. It's just something that I've wanted so a little bit desperately, and it's like an actual, real, personal connection with someone. And at the moment, the only being that that I have that with is Bonnie, the bee. Yes, the plush bee from CGP Gray's videos. That is my closest connection. And I'm not ashamed of that. Bonnie is my traveling companion, my friend. Someone I can confide in, not have any judgment back. And it's not that that's not enough. Of course it is. Sometimes I wish that I had that with another person. Because as much as the thing with Bonnie is great, Bonnie isn't another human being. If I'm being perfectly honest and saying the reality of the situation that I choose to ignore, Bonnie is just a plush bee. And I supply life via my own imagination. I understand that Bonnie's eyes don't actually have life behind them. That they're just sewn in there. But something deeper than that prevails always, that you can just see the spirit of life without there actually being life behind those eyes. Like, behind those cold black eyes, there is warmth, and there is the spirit of warmth and the spirit of life without there actually being physical life. And that's what I hold on to. It feels a little bit sad to say, but at the moment, Bonnie is my best friend. And yes, that means that Elmo is no longer on that list. I do consider Elmo in my formative years to be a companion I could have relied upon, because he was always there for me. And even though his insides are just stuffing, when I get hugs from him, it really feels like it really feels like there's warmth there. And I know science can explain it, and I know that it's, body heat being transferred in through another object, but I don't care. Because in those moments, it really was like I was being loved. Having a best friend around it was nice. A long time ago, I thought, well, rather foolishly, I thought that I was fine being on my own, that I didn't need anyone else. And most of that was in defiance to the norm, as teenagers tend to do. Going through those teenage years, you have those hormones in your head, and you think, not in your head, in your body, and you think, oh, I can be all independent, I don't need anyone else. But most of that was because I really wasn't with anyone else for a long time. The most companionship I ever got was really from stuffed toys and other characters I'd make with my imagination. I usually have a self-deprecating joke I could say, excuse me, about that. But, I have nothing. I've considered, like, dating apps and like, online chat rooms for just finding companionship. I didn't consider this for very long because, well, obviously, a lot of online chat rooms have the issue of predators and a lot of a lot of dating apps, well, you don't go in there looking for a friend, go in there looking to date, and I don't want to date. I don't see the value in dating. What I want is that what I want is that intimacy, you know?
Just need a few things to put in 1 second. When did that get here?
And
I
don't know.
Okay.
You know, looking back on it, I did have friends, and it's not like I didn't. It's just that it took me far too long to realize it. And it took me far too long to get used to this emotions thing. It's not like I was a robot when I was younger and I pretended I didn't have emotions. I just didn't understand what they were. I didn't understand abstract ideas like, I don't know, like kindness and family, and there are some things that kindergarten doesn't teach you. One of those is genuinely, actually, what a friend is. Oh sure, they give you loads of opportunities to make friends, but if you don't conceptually understand what one is, or you don't understand what compassion is beyond holding the door because everyone tells you to, then you're not going to get very far. People say it's kind, for example, people say it's kind to hold doors open for people. And why do you hold doors open for people? Because it's kind. Why is it kind? Because everyone says so. I'm sure I have something else better to talk about, that's not nearly as depressing. Let's see. Hey, quick side note I just wanted to bring up. I really wanted to talk about body dysmorphia at some point in this video, but I realized that I don't really have a whole lot to say about it, so I'm just going to leave this aside in an already horribly long video. So in case you don't know, body dysmorphia is an actual disorder, in which one feels like, basically, if someone is extremely self-critical of their body to the point of near obsession. This is different than narcissism in the fact that it's not so much that you're obsessing over yourself, but you're obsessing over some part of you that you believe to be not good. So, for example, you might be picking at a bit of skin for a long time, or constantly worry about how others might perceive this one part of you. And we're talking parts as in physical parts, bodily parts, right? Now the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I don't I myself don't have body dysmorphia. Um, and the thing is, right, um, I actually legitimately don't believe I have body dysmorphia, but I am very just minorly critical about some aspects of myself. For example, I shave every week. My legs and arms and face every week. Once a week, I shave. And the reason for that is I could not tell you why. It's a personal thing. Honestly, I don't understand it. Um, but like the weird thing is that I do that even though no one's gonna see it anyway. I mean, obviously my face, right? But like, I wear a mask outside because it makes me feel more comfortable. And uh, but like, for fashion sense, I tend to wear things that are the most comfortable, as I've went over before, and did I say A and B or did I say 1 and 2? Okay, 1, things that are comfortable, and 2, things that don't show a lot of skin. I'm really like anti whatever new social fashion movement trend thing where you show a lot of skin. I don't understand that. So, I'm very self-conscious about wearing like t-shirts out in public because then people can see my arms and I get really really self-conscious about that. And I also don't like people seeing my legs, which is why even in like 25-degree temperatures, I will still wear leggings outside with a skirt. And that is frankly very uncomfortable for my legs, but at least it's not uncomfortable for my brain. So, uncomfortable for my legs because it's hot, obviously. Yeah, what can you do? This is also the reason why I don't wear a light jacket over, if I wear a t-shirt at any point, which I try not to, I wear a light jacket over that. So like even if it's straight like 30 degrees or 35 degrees, you will catch me just dying of heat stroke just because I don't want to show my arms in public. So that, I don't get it either. Anyway, I hope this part wasn't too boring and you were entertained. I decided to do this aside in the best presentation software I know, Dance Fire Nice. Okay, bye. Hey, so Pride Month is almost over, which is depressing for me because that means I actually have a deadline to meet for when this video is going to come out. Because I want it to come out before the end of Pride Month because it's a Pride related video. Because I realize I haven't really gotten a big chance to share what my whoops my sexuality actually is or my gender actually is. Not that you need to know, but because I've done a lot of figuring out over time. So for this section, we're going to talk about what I left off on last time, which is being trans in a Catholic philosophy class. Now, the philosophy class, the reason why that's important here, and like let's be clear, philosophy class in high school, right? It's nothing fancy, but well, what's important to note here is that we were talking about different ethical issues because there was a period in time that we just like to talk about whatever because that was the philosophy class, right? We wanted to talk about philosophy, like philosophical issues that were pertinent to the the students, right? Sorry, I'm very bad at speaking. And as part of that, one of the topics was trans athletes. Basically, if MTF, male to female, or female to male, athletes should be allowed to play on their respective teams. That is, FTM on the male side, or male to female on the women's side. And there were quite a lot of arguments about no, they shouldn't be allowed, or yes, it should be allowed. And it it occurs to me that me sitting there, and I was very openly out there about being an NB, because I explained that on like the first day of class. Um, I was very open about being about that. Or at least I think I explained it during class. I honestly don't remember anymore. My memory's a little fuzzy on that. There's a big chance that I showed this flag off and no one understood it. That's also very possible. But I showed this flag. I know for a fact I showed this flag on the first day of class because we had to design our own little name folders, and that we had to explain the different things on there. I got distracted again. Sorry. So just sitting there being an NB in the class, it was weird, right? And you would imagine it was weird because you're just listening to people saying, "Oh yeah, these oh god, this is gonna sound horrible. These," and I'm just gonna quote directly from what people said. These men pretending to be women, right? These men pretending to be women are playing on the women's team, and that's bad because, well, we all know that they're actually men, and they're just doing it so that they can get over the women, so they have an advantage, and like they feel like they actually win something. It's a self-esteem issue, and to hear all that, um, is quite quite difficult to describe, at least for me. I'm not very articulate, as you can probably tell. Um, but what it seems like is that people transition just because they want something. That is, being trans, not for the sake of like actually, feeling in your own skin and like actually knowing who you are and identifying, like being comfortable in identifying. The point here is that this is being trans means that you want something. You you're in it for a specific reward, right? You're not in it to feel comfortable. You're in it for like a very specific reward. Please mind my messy handwriting. Um, and that just feels off to me, right? This is just the argument that like people aren't trans because, like, the argument that people aren't trans because that's like what they know deep in their heart. It's because they want to like one up people, because they want to like gain something, because they want to feel something. And I feel like if you're transitioning for that reason, you're doing it for the wrong reason, right? I technically never transitioned per se. And okay, there are two things we need to discuss: physical transitions and social transitions. Now, there is a difference between them, and usually these two are connected, but not always. Physical transitioning is what most people think of when they think of transitioning, or also known as people who are transsexual, right? Physical transitioning means usually that comes along with HRT, like hormone replacement therapy, or like top or bottom surgery, that kind of thing. I have elected to not do that because, oh, and one more thing. Uh, there's also usually, I guess, binders for that. Um, that it's not really my thing. a lot of people do that, obviously, to fit better in their own bodies, which makes sense. And it's to remove like distinctive elements such as the chest area or like the Adam's apple or that kind of thing. That's not where the apostrophe goes. Okay. Um, sort of thing. So, this is usually, especially in relation to top and bottom surgery, what's known as being transsexual. That is, you're changing your sex here. It's the word sex in there. Let's just highlight that a little better. It's like watching Khan Academy. um, that is, you're actively changing your your body and your specific, sex parts, right? Like you get what the word sex means in this case, right? Um, but then there's social transition, which usually comes along with it. There's also one optional element. Sorry, one second. There's also one. Christ, I'll never get used to using this. There's also one optional element that comes with either one. I'll get into social transitioning in a second. Which is speech therapy. Now, speech therapy in this situation means a wildly different thing from speech therapy when you think of it. But it's basically like changing your voice to make it sound either more masculine or more feminine or more androgynous, which usually comes with HRT, but some people, um, well, obviously it comes with HRT because it's the hormones, right? But some people choose to like make their voices deeper or like lighter to match their identity, right? So that's one thing I've elected not to do because honestly I can't be bothered, and also I've also went through like medical speech therapy, which is getting rid of my lisp because I used to have a lisp, which was not great. Okay. Um, so social transitioning is basically just pronouns. Changing your pronouns, how people refer to you, that kind of thing. It is appearance, what you look like to other people. You know, like your outset. That's not the right word. Like what you look like to other people, and sometimes your voice, right? So you do some vocal training and that kind of thing. And again, let me be clear, I've elected not to do that because honestly, it's just too much work. For me, it's just too much work. I just can't be bothered. So there are a lot of people who are trans that don't do vocal therapy, so they just keep their voice from before. And one of the people that I can immediately think of off the top of my head is Sybil's GD. She does Undertale videos and Deltarune videos, and from what I know, her voice doesn't necessarily reflect that, or like reflect the stereotype of femininity, but she's free to do whatever. Um, so I've gotten massively off track here, haven't I? Right. Okay. So athletes, athletes. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about this. Do you want to know like what religion thinks about this? Because that's kind of important. So, context, I went to a Catholic high school, which is not because, I'm Catholic, because I'm not. Let's make this absolutely clear. I'm not Catholic, but because it was within walking distance from my house. Yep, that's the reason. It's because it was within walking distance from my house. That's why I went to a Catholic school. Um, and you know, as Catholics, they believe in like the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, which I always did completely incorrectly because I thought like the instructions said, "Oh, go over your heart." So I intentionally went, "Okay, over my heart and down in the Holy Spirit." Okay, you're not supposed to do that. You're just supposed to go down and up and left and right, right? Tangents aside, we did have mandatory religion courses because it was a Catholic school, so we learned about Christianity and Judaism and sometimes other ones, but not necessarily. Um, and it's it was really insightful. So I actually got exempt from my religion classes, so I took the grade 9-1 and the grade oh god, this is not going to look good. I took the one in grade 9 and one in grade 11. You can see now why I didn't write it down. The one in grade 9 because I had to, and then I got exempt, and the one in grade 11 because I wanted to, because that was about world religion. So in grade 9 religion, we read this thing called the CCC, or the, I forget what it stands for, but it's a catechism. Is what it's a catechism, and basically it was a book in which it explains what the Catholic viewpoint on certain subjects was. So, for example, abortion, right? Abortion. Let me spell out the word abortion. Uh, Abortion is a killing of another life. So no. Or euthanasia. Euthanasia. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Euthanasia, or physician-assisted suicide is what that is. And there are technically differing viewpoints of it. I'm pretty sure the Catholic Church says no. It might have changed, but I'm pretty sure the Catholic Church says no. And you know what else? Being trans. What does the Catholic Church say about being trans? Well, no, absolutely not. Technically, it's in relation to actually being transsexual. I found the passage where it says about transsexuality. Ignore that mark there. Because it's basically it's mutilating your genitals, right? Like the way they phrase it is, "Oh no, you're mutilating your I can't spell. Oh no, you're mutilating your genitals, which is a sin, right? In the Bible, and technically, it's not even that. It's technically it's just destroying your God-given body, right? So, it's the whole God doesn't make mistakes. So, you're all under this mass delusion that you're like a different gender, and that doesn't exist because God does not make mistakes. Which I find to be a really interesting take on that. For a reason I'm going to explain right now. Let's say, what do the Jewish people think about trans people? Now, to be clear, we're going to be talking about two divisions of Judaism. Specifically, we're going to talk about the Orthodox Jews. How do you spell words? The Orthodox and the Reform. Not to say that these are the only two divisions, because of course they're not, but we're going to talk about these two because, basically, it's for simplification purposes, is what it is. So the Orthodox, and in some cases it's the Hasidic, Jewish people, say that trans people bad, right? Trans bad. But that is a little bit of an oversimplification because, of course, a lot of Orthodox churches recognize, Orthodox Jewish churches recognize the suicide rate for trans teens and just trans people in general has been on the incline. It is unfortunately going up. So despite the scripture saying otherwise, a lot of independent rabbis, a part of these churches, do support like they support the trans people for the sake of not wanting their followers to die, right? So they actively provide resources, and they encourage the use of like like various forms of therapy to not to convert you back to your cisgender, but to make yourself feel more comfortable, to allow yourself to be who you actually want to be, and then like once you're secure in yourself, then you can serve the world in the spirit of God in Jesus. But you can only do that if you're not dead. So and I'm being serious about this. There are actually rabbis out there who just want to make sure that you don't kill yourself, because that is a serious issue among trans teenagers and just trans people in general, because dysphoria of that kind usually accompanies with it anxiety and depression, and that's, you know, a lot of people can agree that's not a good thing, and it is nice to think that there are real people out there who actively care about that and don't just dismiss gender dysphoria as some kind of mental illness that you have to grow out of. So, sorry for getting all serious there for a moment. I just thought that was important to relay as information for Orthodox churches. For Reformed churches, well, it might not surprise you to know this, but trans people, yeah, they're accepted. Of course, they're accepted. Trans people can even become rabbis. Like, people are actually being like put into these positions of power, positions of authority in the church, who are trans. Like that's great, right? I just noticed I made an angma by accident. Ignore that. It's fine. Trang. Yes, I know how to spell. But yeah, the reform really doesn't care. I mean, like, as long as you're not hurting people, and as long as you're not like abusing people, like, it's fine. You're fine with it. Something I wanted to discuss in terms of Orthodox Jewish people, though, and there is a reason why I'm bringing this up, is that my my extended family is like sort of Orthodox, like quasi-Orthodox, into Judaism, right? Orthodox. And what I mean by that is that they follow like all of the Hebrew and old language scriptures, but they don't really care all that much. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is in December, right? I do my family does this thing. My close family and my extended family does this thing called actually, I'm going to out myself if I say that. Basically, we celebrate both Hanukkah and Christmas, right? We celebrate both Hanukkah and Christmas. And we do these great things, and we light the candles. There we go. We light the candles, and we exchange gifts in a Secret Santa type thing, and it's great. And last year, 2022, last year, was the year I kind of, sort of came out, I guess. It's just like announcing, hey, this is my name now, and this is what I use, and like it wasn't like, oh, I'm gay, like that kind of coming out. It's just like on my invitation and on my Secret Santa, um, this was listed. This was listed on my Secret Santa. And I have to thank my sister for that because it was really nice. So, I went there in not like, I didn't wear a skirt or anything. I just wore like normal clothes that people usually interpret to be feminine for some reason. I still don't know why. But I went there and had a great time, and it it was important to me that I felt accepted there because it just and I don't know, it just felt like a family gathering, right? And this feels really stupid to say out loud because, like, well, duh, of course it's a family gathering, right? But what I mean by that is that it felt like I actually belonged there, like the whole family aspect here was there and it was alive and well, and no one really cared. It's just like, hey, uh, you look slightly different now, and you have a different name now, but that's okay. Let's have some latkes. It's nice. Like there is acknowledgement of it, but it's not a big deal, and it was just nice. It was nice to have that. It was nice to have a good experience, especially during that time where, let's be honest, I didn't have a great relationship with my dad. Um, my family um, isn't composed of many people. My close family isn't composed of many people, and I spend most of the days with my father because, or back in 2022, I spent most of the days with my father because my mother was out working, and we didn't have the best relationship. So it took a long time. It took a very, very long time for us to actually start communicating, but eventually we got there. And sure, he might slip up every now and again, and he still calls me by my old name, and things aren't perfect, but he's at least come to terms, at least a little bit, with the fact that I'm not my assigned gender or my assigned sex. And honestly, for right now, that's all I can ask. That's all I can hope for. Just not necessarily the full acceptance, but just respect, I guess. Just respect. That's all I could ask for. You don't have to fully understand it. I mean, God, I don't even fully understand it. And you don't have to, like, fully be on board with it or whatever. I just need you to accept the reality and respect that, you know? And that's it. Um, so yeah, this was a roller coaster. um, I'll cut back to me in Minecraft a little bit from now, but probably talking about a different thing. But that's basically what I wanted to touch upon after like the cliffhanger that I accidentally stopped recording for. But yeah, that's it for this section. And I'm gonna put this drawing part at the end. Hello again. So this video is an hour something long. Did not expect it to be that long. But hey, it's the Pride Month special, so it's gotta be, interesting. Anyway, I was going to do a conclusion to this, until I realized, oh wait, shoot, right, I don't exactly do conclusions for this. Like, casual Skyblock isn't like, oh, I'm gonna introduce a topic and then I'm gonna do my thesis statement. It's not an essay, is what I'm trying to say. I am very sleep deprived. I am very tired. I nearly threw up editing the you know which section. And I want to just be done with this video. I want to be done with this, and I want to go take a nap. So that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. Leave any comments you have in the comments. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. If you didn't enjoy it, leave a dislike. I can take it. It's fine. I mean, one of my videos has, like, I think over 30 dislikes at this point. It was the how to clear your inventory. Yes. Yeah, so here's just the credits and me drawing a picture of a very cute pig. Hey, welcome to the credits. Yeah, so not technically credits because, you know, I work on these videos myself and um I don't really get anyone else to help me, but it's nice to have like a little bit of downtime before the video actually like closes out, like, finally. Um and also I just really wanted an excuse to just draw something here, so you're just getting a drawing here now. But yeah, a lot of these topics I've kind of held off on doing for a while because, quite frankly, it's difficult for me to talk about. Not because, like, the subject matter is off or anything, but just because, A, I'm not very articulate, and B, ooh, bees, I like bees. And B, I've actually been trying to figure it out a lot myself, and I don't fully understand it either. So it's gonna be really difficult for me to explain to another person, like, all of these things if I can't even explain them to myself, you know? Does that make sense? Anyway, yeah, just drawing a nice little picture of Soffie here. In case you haven't been keeping up, or in case I've never mentioned it before, Soffie is my pig. My pig friend. My pig. Soffie is adorable. She was a birthday present for me this year. This year for my birthday, I got Soffie from my former roommate and I think friend. I try to keep up every now and again. I try to keep up, keep in contact because, well, quite frankly, I don't have a lot of people to talk to. So, you know, any small amount of human contact is nice. But yeah, so that was my Pride Month video. I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you all whenever batch 3 starts up again, because quite frankly, I have schoolwork I need to do, so it might be a while, but I am still working on the Ruby code project, so yeah, there you go. Bye.